Welcome to another dog training video where we are actually going to solve all of your behavior struggles that are happening inside the house with this one game. Hi, my name's Madeline and I've been training dogs for a little over half a decade now. I have loved training my personal dogs, watching them learn, watching that little light switch flip on and just that they get it. And I love teaching other people to see the same thing with their dogs. And I love watching other owners have their own light switch moment where that light switch flips on for them and they're like, oh my gosh, I got it. It brightens my day. It gives me so much purpose and makes me so happy. Today's game is going to be the first of a little mini series. We're doing the absolute basics here. So some dogs might be able to blow right past this stage, but I really want you to practice it anyways, because today we're talking boundary games. What I mean by boundary games is having a place for your dog. Some dog trainers call it a place command or just a bed for them. Having a designated area that their dog can go to, they can relax, they can be confident in their own space, they can be calm, and they can just really relax. And so that's what we're working on today. We're building the desire that our dogs will start to learn that this magical space, this boundary that my dog is on, is the best place that they could ever be. I want to take a quick moment and talk about the type of bed that you are going to use. I highly recommend any type of raised boundary like this one. And it's simply because if my dog decides to cheat and put his back feet on the boundary and his front feet off the boundary, he can very clearly tell that he's cheating. Sometimes with fluffy beds or just flat beds in general, it's very unlikely for our dog to be able to tell when they're cheating. So I'm going to lure Apollo off just so I can show you. He can very clearly tell that he is partially off his boundary. So if I tell him, stop cheating, he'll get right back up on his boundary and he knows that he was cheating. With a flat bed or a fluffy bed, it's very hard for our dogs to differentiate between the bed and the floor. So if I tell them stop cheating, they might think, I didn't know I was cheating at all. So that's why I really recommend these raised beds. You can get them from Amazon. I'm pretty sure you can get them from like Petco, PetSmart, anywhere like that. But raised beds are my absolute go-to. Another bonus is for big dogs like this guy and dogs who get hot very easily. These beds keep them cool because it allows the air to come out from underneath and keep them cool from underneath, on top, everywhere. So these are my go-to, 100% recommend, absolutely, go get one. So for this game, we're going to be using very little verbal communication with our dogs. And that's because I want them to think and learn and figure it out for themselves. So it's easiest if you have a chair or you can get really close to their boundary, because we're going to be using our body language. And so we're going to have, as close as possible, we're going to have our shoulders, our hips, and our eyes looking right at the boundary. And that's the only communication we're going to give. We're not going to use a treat and lure them on. We are only going to use our body language. Let me free him off and see what he does. Right back on the bed. Yes. If our dog puts 2 feet on the boundary, sniffs the boundary, even if your dog is really nervous, even looks at the boundary, we are going to use our marker word, which is our yes, and then we're going to feed the bed. We're not going to feed our dog. This is another really important part with this foundational game, is that we feed the bed. The reason for that is if I feed my dog's mouth, I can pull him off the boundary. He knows that the value is with me and not necessarily with the boundary. And in later steps, I'm going to be walking away. I'm going to be going in different directions. I'm not going to stand right here forever every time, a guest comes in or I'm cooking. I'm going to need to take my attention away from the bed. And I want my dog to know that the bed is where all the value is coming from. So we're going to drop all of our treats on the bed, and we're not going to feed our dogs mouths. Let's do it again so that, yes. And I'm feeding the bed. And you can feed for duration as well. So if they decide to stay on the bed, I can yes again and feed the bed for them staying there. When I want to add my release word, which is a kind of reset for them, I'm going to say my release word and then throw a treat off the bed. So my release word is free. So I'm going to say free and then throw a treat off the bed. And then I'm going to go right back into my game. Yes. Where I'm going to wait. Apollo's been doing this for a long time, so I'm going to wait for him to fully get on the bed before I use my marker word. But if your dog is brand new to this, marking when they only have 2 feet on or 3 feet on is perfectly fine in the beginning. So again, with our release word to reset our game, I'm going to give my release word and then throw a treat away. Free. And then I'm going to go back to staring at the bed and using my body language to communicate to them that I want him on the boundary. Yes. And again, we're feeding our bed. I'm going to say it over and over again like a broken record. Feed the bed. Do not feed your dog's mouth for this game, probably only. All right. Free. Yes. Free. Good. And you can see very, very quickly, I chose a different release word than Apollo is used to. But even just within this video, you can see how quickly he is picking up on that free means that he can get off the boundary. Free. Yes. Even if I'm too slow to throw the treat, he gets off the boundary and it's like, okay, you're going to throw my treat, which is perfect. That's absolutely everything we want. Yes, good boy. And sometimes it will take a little while for your dog to figure out exactly what you want. I mean, you're not communicating with them verbally. You're not communicating with them verbally. The only way you are communicating with your dog is through your body language, which might be something that you haven't done before, or you've done very little with, or you haven't done knowingly. So using your body language on purpose can be new to your dog, and it can take some time for them to get used to it. But I wouldn't be surprised if you stay staring there at the bed with your shoulders, your hips, everything pointed towards the boundary. They'll figure it out pretty quickly. All right, I told you this level 1 was going to be very simple. It's not easy, but it's very simple, and it's going to be very fast with your dog. Once they get it, they're going to be jumping on that boundary before you even have a chance. That's when you know you're ready for level 2. I hope you have a great day, guys. Keep on training.